So in this question, we're given a diagram, figure 2, and this shows a sketch of a triangle with vertices A, B, and C. So we're given some information, we're given what vector A to B is, and we're given what vector B to C is. And what we're asked to do, we're to show that the angle BAC is equal to 105.9 degrees. So to begin this question, I'm going to copy out the diagram down here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to annotate it with the information we know. So we're given that AB is 2I plus 3J plus K. So we're going to annotate this on our diagram. So we know that A to B is going to be this side here. So let us write our vector in there. So we have 2, 3, and 1. And we know that that is AB. And that will be going in this direction here. And then similarly for B to C, we know that it is 1 minus 9, 3. So we'll write that in here. So we're going from B to C. So that's going to be 1 minus 9 and 3. And that is going to be B to C. And we know that that will be in this direction. So we now need to look at what we're being asked. So we're being asked for the angle BAC. So we know that that is going to be the angle at the vertex A. So we can just draw this into our diagram here that we're looking to find this angle here, and let's denote it theta. So what we need to do now is we need to figure out what this length is here. We need to figure out AC. And then we'll be able to use this to calculate what the angle is. So we know that we need to find what A to C is. And we know that if we go from A to B, and then go from B to C, this is the same as doing A to C. So therefore, we can work out AC as follows. A to C is going to be equal to AB plus BC. So then what we can do is we can just simply write our column vectors as follows. So 2, 3, 1 plus 1 minus 9 and 3. And this gives us what A to C is. And that comes out as 3 minus 6, 4. So therefore we can take this and annotate it onto our diagram. So that means that we have 3 minus 6, 4. So our next step now is to think of a formula that we know which helps connect us with angles and vectors. So this formula is as follows. Cos theta is going to be equal to the dot product of A and B, and we're going to divide that by the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B. So in our case, we know that our vector A is going to be AB and our vector B is going to be AC. So let's just write this down for completeness. So let A be equal to 2, 3, and 1, and B be equal to 3 minus 6, 4. So we do note that we need both vectors to be pointing away from the angle. So we have this here. AB is going in the direction away from where the angle is, and AC is also going in the direction away from where the angle is. So what this means is we can now work out what the magnitude of A and B are. So we do that as follows. The magnitude of A is going to be equal to 2 squared plus 3 squared plus 1 squared. And we square root that, and that is going to be equal to the square root of 14. And likewise, the magnitude of B is going to be equal to 3 squared plus minus 6 squared plus 4 squared. And we square root all of that, and that comes out as the square root of 61. And then we can also work out the dot product of A and B, and we do this by multiplying each term and adding them. So a dot b is going to be equal to 2 times 3 plus 3 times minus 6 plus 1 times 4, and then that is going to be equal to 6 minus 18 plus 4, which is equal to minus 8. So now we have all the values that we need, so we can make use of our formula here. So just for completeness, I'm going to highlight all the values we're going to use in our formula. So we now have negative 8, which is going to be the dot product of A and B, and then we have the magnitude of A and the magnitude of B. So then, taking a look at our formula, we know that cos of theta is going to be equal to minus 8 divided by root 14 times by root 61. We then have that theta is going to be equal to cos to the negative 1 of negative 8 over root 14 times root 61. So then we can put this into our calculators and we'll get that theta is equal to 105.887, and then rounding to one decimal place, we conclude that theta is going to be equal to 105.9 degrees, which then, looking back to the question, we were asked to show that the angle is equal to 105.9 degrees. So we can write a conclusion. Therefore, the angle BAC is equal to 105.9 degrees as required. So we'll now go back and take a look at where the marks run off in this question. So we can first see that there was 5 marks available for this question. So our first mark comes from knowing to calculate the next length AC. So when we calculated 3, negative 6, 4, we received our first mark. We then receive our second mark for knowing to use the formula cos theta is equal to AB divided by the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B. That's where we receive our second mark. We'll receive our third mark for knowing to then calculate the magnitudes. So there we've calculated the magnitude of A and the magnitude of B. We receive our fourth mark for working out the dot product, and we then receive our final and fifth mark for knowing to substitute these values into the formula and concluding with the correct answer.